I'm Kayla Ali, and welcome back to the Ali Perspective. Now, today I have a very special guest with me, Wilson's very own new head coach, Coach Brian Wilson. So, Coach, I thought that it was very important that I have you on my show, as an alumni of Wilson,
Right.
and I want us to have the best football program in the PD.
Right.
And I feel like you are that guy that can take us to that point.
Okay.
And I want to get your perspective on a few things,
Awesome.
and get to know you a little bit better,
Right.
Coach. So my first question to you is, now our football team, we only won one game last year.
Correct.
So coming into the program, what's the one thing that you have to change so that we're not a one-win team next season?
I think that's simple. I think the mindset. I think winning just starts with the mindset. Creating a culture of winning. I come from a culture that's different than most. You look at the guys that came out of Sumter. You look at South Florence. That was the first sign for me to say, hey, yes, take this job. Because I look at what he did right across the water.
I mean,
it's not far. Not far. He did it really fast.
He did it really fast, and I currently work at South Florence.
Right.
So I kind of see what he does and the mindset of and what he has instilled in his players.
Correct.
Because I was talking to one of the players in my class, and he was telling me how they won state championship on Saturday.
It's over.
Monday, they got an email saying, you guys won. The celebration is over.
Yeah.
Let's get to work.
Let's rebuild.
So how do you plan on doing that? And not saying that you copying or trying to re-emulate what he's doing now, the winning culture you're trying to re-emulate. But how do you think you can start by doing that?
I think when you say copy, I think everyone copies.
That's true.
I look at what he did. He did a lot of copying, but he took a lot of his influences from coaches that he worked with as well. I think a lot of people might not know we went to high school together too.
Okay.
So we played for the same high school coach. We coached together for a while. So it's a copycat league in most sports. So it's pretty much the same thing. It's the mindset. I think the difference is, I say it's the same thing. It's a weight room. Change the mindset with that. He has a great strength coach over there, and Coach Sean Armstrong, which we played together in college, and we're both from Sumter. So he was a freshman, I think, when I was a senior in high school. So it's pretty much we're doing the same thing in the weight room. I think I'm a little different than Sean. I think I'm a little more intense. I think my energy is a lot higher than Sean's, which is nothing against Sean, because Sean is probably one of the best in the state. Yeah. I think people around here rave about what he does, and that's my guy.
Okay.
Every time we see each other, we got to wrestle. So it's always all love, but I think it's the mindset and the culture of the weight room. I think the kids would tell you that I am on them really, really hard right now. So we're just trying to get bigger, faster, stronger, and learn how to finish. When you go back and look at them on film, you see that they don't finish games. Games are close. It's only two teams I feel like that just beat the bricks off us. Yeah. But everybody else is close. So it's all about learning how to finish, which is a mental thing. Yeah. So it's like in the weight room, after we get done lifting, we're gonna do something else hard, and let's find out how to finish.
Yes, sir. And in high school football, sometimes people say that you should cater your offense and your defense to the players.
Correct.
And I just want to know, are you the type of coach that's going to, trying to word it correctly, are you going to be the type of coach that will set up your offensive play style based on what you have? Yep. Or are you going to bend your offense to accommodate the players?
I'm big on not trying to fit what they say, a pin in a square hole or whatever it is. We're gonna fit it to what we have. Okay. I think I got a home run hire in Braxton Ivory.
Yes. Yes.
He's a Wilson alum. For one. For two, we played against each other last year. Okay. We lost one game last year. We lost to Somerville in the playoffs. Excuse me, Sumter lost to Somerville in the playoffs. Not us, because we are. Yeah. Other than Somerville, I think the only person that gave me struggles last year was Braxton Ivory in the West Florence offense. And what he did to cater that offense to the quarterback he had, And a little key, we had some weeks off where I actually went to watch West Florence play. And I watched him on the sideline.
Mm-hmm.
So I watched him go from a quarterback who couldn't run and was more of a pocket passer to a guy who could run. And I watched how he changed the offense. So when I had the opportunity to hire that guy, it was a no-brainer because he matched his personnel to what he had at quarterback.
Okay.
I think to be able to win in high school football or any football, you got to have a guy at quarterback, but also you got to put the right system around him. Defensively, if you look at us at Sumter, we're multiple.
Yeah.
Last year I played 17 guys on defense. I want to say played 7 sophomores on the team that played in the lower state championship. How were we able to do that? We were multiple. So we took kids who may not fit in our 3-4 defense and put a package on the field so they can get on the field because they're good enough to play. So that's kind of the mindset that we have at Wilson. We're going to mold and put the best players on the field, but we're going to give guys who can play the opportunity to play in certain packages.
Okay. I love to hear that. I like that game plan. I think Wilson has a lot of athletes. And I mean a lot of kids that don't even realize how athletic they are,
or how good they could be,
or how good they could be. As I'm coaching softball now,
all right,
so I'm seeing that,
right.
And I saw it when I was coaching cheerleading. Same thing, but a lot of people tend to say that coaching at Wilson can be difficult because they like to label our kids,
right?
And I don't agree with that. How
You.
do you feel about that when you hear those things?
It's totally different than what people think. I think when I got hired, I was still contracted at Sumter, but I was still coming here. And just the things that I saw that was different. I'm coming from a school that's over 2,400 students. Yeah. To a school that's not that big. Like I started officially on Monday. I walk in on the Commons at 8 o'clock. And I'm looking like, this is all the kids. Like, where's everybody? I said, I can do this by myself because I'm used to a lot more kids. Also, my son started on Monday.
Okay.
And I was a little nervous about him making a change, but I was happy when he called his mom, and she called me and said he loves it. Why does he love it? It's like, why do you love it? He said, well, second block, I got 9 kids in my class. I said, third block, I got 12 kids in my class. And then I walk around, so I'm a guy who's visible. And when I walk around the halls between classes, you don't see people in the hallways. You see kids actually in class learning. I think I haven't seen a discipline problem since I've been here in over almost a month now. So it's totally different than what people think. These kids, they're well behaved. They want to win. They're very, very respectful, and they do what you're supposed to do. I think the biggest thing is accountability. I think a lot of people can't hold kids accountable.
That's true.
That's something I'm not gonna struggle with. I'm gonna ask you to do something. If you can't do it, then we're gonna fix it.
And I think just from my time at Wilson, I've seen that too. I think sometimes the problem could be you want to see the kids succeed so bad that you give them chance after chance,
right?
But then you run into the habit of them continuing to do the same thing, and that's the definition of insanity.
Correct.
You do the same thing over and over again, and you expecting a different result.
No doubt.
So if we can go ahead and discipline, okay, you're not doing A, B, and C. Well, then you're not going to do X, Y, and Z.
Let's fix it.
And so we got to fix it. We got to fix it now so that we don't have to fix it later.
Right. I told a kid today, and we had a coaches meet last night. We had one today. I told him last night, I said, I understand that this bus is going to get on the road. We're going to go forward. Everybody's not going to get on the bus. Yeah. And I realized that. Do I want everybody to get on the bus? Yes, I want everybody to get on the bus. But the reality of it is, everybody's not going to do what they're supposed to do.
That's true.
I'm a big guy being accountable and doing what you're supposed to do and what you say you're going to do. I think that's what paved my way for success, is I hold myself accountable. And the success that we had at Sumter is we hold kids accountable. Not only we hold kids accountable, I think Coach Barnes did a great job, and Coach Arthur, who was my defensive coordinator for 5 years, held us accountable. So on Sundays, when your kids didn't perform, because you're the head coach of your position, he held you accountable for every mistake that was on the film. Yeah. And that's something that I preach, and I'm telling to my staff and the kids as well. Like I said, the bus is going to go. Who's on it? That's up to you.
Yes, sir. And as a coach, is there a coach who you love their style? Like, are you more, well, first I should say, are you more of an offensive or defensive minded coach? Now, as a head coach, you're everything.
Right.
All right, you're everything.
Right.
But everybody has an affinity for one side slightly more than the other.
I think I'm a little different. Meaning, yes, I was the defensive coordinator, but I'm more offensive minded than I am defensively. I think that comes from like youth. I played quarterback.
Okay.
I played tailback all the way up until high school, until ninth grade. I didn't play defense until I was a freshman in high school. So my mind for offense was more there. Even on Saturdays when I'm watching football, I don't watch football. I get on and I'll pull up games from the 90s, the early 2000s, or I go watch Lincoln Riley, Steve Sarkisian offense.
Yes.
Just to see what they're doing. I think most great defensive coordinators are guys who study offense.
Yeah.
It's not defense really cut dry. Can you play hard? Can you line up correctly? Can you do what you're supposed to do? Other than that, it's about figuring out what they're trying to do to you. So I'm more of an offensive guy. Honestly, if it wasn't for Braxton, I'd probably call an offense.
and as someone who is an Oklahoma fan.
Okay.
I love the Lincoln Riley.
Right.
Now, and I loved him up until he switched to USC, and then he took our quarterback and a couple other people.
Right.
You know, so I'm a little salty by that.
Right.
But at the end of the day, that guy is a great offensive mind.
Genius.
He was always, what I really loved about him was he was always able to find solid offensive line. Like, you know, you're going to see an Oklahoma lineman in the draft.
Ain't no doubt.
Like that was always going to be the case. And I mean, the way that he ushered in quarterbacks as Oklahoma fan, I mean, we went from Baker Mayfield, Kyler Murray, Jalen Hurts, Spencer Rattler, Caleb. I mean, that run was literally insane.
Right.
So what do you plan on doing? Because I know you can't like run a Lincoln Riley offense in high school. There's just I'm sorry, that's hard to do.
Right.
But if there's like one thing that's like, if I can, well, I'll say this: is there one group on offense that you're like, if I get this group to gel and mesh so well that I promise you, y'all gonna try to keep me at Wilson for about 20 years?
I think that's a very easy question. Any good football coach will tell you the most important hire ain't the coordinator, really. It's the offensive line coach.
Yeah.
He's the most important hire. The offensive line coach and your DB coach are the two most important people you can hire. Yes. So when I say that, the offensive line is the most important piece. Now, as luckily, I'm a defensive guy, and I play DB, I coach DBs. Yeah. I ain't worried about DB aspect. I can handle that. But the offensive line coach and the offensive line is the most important. You can't do anything if you don't know how to block.
No.
Like, it doesn't matter that we can run these screens and all these different plays if we can't block anybody.
No.
But they're the most important by far.
And in high school, I think the one thing that I've seen when I've especially called Wilson games, blocking has always been an issue. And I mean, especially if you're running with two tailbacks or you're running a tight end and a tailback. And also, I don't think people realize it's important for your wide receivers need to block too.
And no doubt.
So how are you going to preach blocking and how are you going to, build that up into our players' head?
Into our players' head. It's my job, but it's not my job. Meaning, I think I hired a really good staff.
I think you did too.
Yes, I think I had a really good staff. Coach Harrison Terry is going to head up the offensive line. And we have another coach who's going to assist them in coach tight end H-back. So that's how valuable I think offensive line is. We got two guys there.
Yeah.
But it's on them. Every coach is the head coach of their position. I told them this last night. I learned this from Coach Barnes years ago. Every position coach is the head coach of their position. When we meet on Sunday or whenever we meet, I'm going to lay out my expectations. I'm going to go over what I expect. You're going to give me your plan, and you're going to execute your plan. If your plan doesn't execute like it's supposed to, then that's on you. Yeah. Then I have to hold you accountable. And if you can't do your job, then I have to find the best person. Just like here, like this ain't an easy job at Wilson High School. I promise you.
It's not.
I promise you. I hear it all the time. Win, 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 win. And it's in my head, it's like, well, we haven't won last year. Like it's gonna take a process. And what I mean by that is, yes, we want to be successful now, but just like they can get rid of me tomorrow, just like that if they want to. Hey, everybody needs to be on high alert right now. Every coach, every position coach, we on high alert. Like, let's fix the problem. Don't let what I said last night. Don't bring me problems, bring me solutions.
Right.
Bring me every solution you can. but be the head coach of your position. So am I going to be hard on the kids? Yes, but I'm holding the coach more accountable than anything.
And now you talked about having a DB coach. Now, I know your DB coach.
Yeah,
that's my classmate.
Ain't no doubt.
That's 2018.
Ain't no doubt.
And he also played at my alma mater, NC State, from Wake Forest.
Correct.
So we called him ZK.
Yes.
That's what we know him. That's what I
Coach
call
Keith.
him. Coach Keith. Coach Keith. I just want to say I love that hire.
Right.
And I also love that you went back and got Wilson alums.
Yeah.
And what made you say, let's see if I get some alums that want to come back?
Actually, a good buddy of mine, Torrance Daniels, actually reached out to me about Zion.
Okay.
I know who he was. I mean, I'm a guy who I follow 24/7. I follow ESPN. I follow all the recruiting for the past 15, 20 years. So I know the guys that are coming out of South Carolina. So when Torrance called me and told me about the opportunity, I said, yeah, give him my number.
Yeah.
Most definitely. And me coming from Sumter, I was a Sumter guy. I brought other Sumter guys back to Sumter. The guy that coached DBs with me there was my defensive coordinator in high school, which also was a Sumter guy. And the other assistant DB coach was a guy I coached at Sumter that went on to Catawba and UNC Pembroke to play. So I see the importance of having guys that are from the same structure and community you're from. Like I took him to the middle school with me, I think yesterday.
Yes.
Like just to see the reaction of the kids when they saw him. Like that's important.
That is.
And I remember when I was in high school, like when you think about Sumter, you think about Cleve Pinckney, Dexter Davis, the list goes on and on, the guys who played in the NFL. You hear those names, but you never saw those faces.
True.
And to me, it was big for me to have the guys that we currently have play college football at Sumter come back. They do a youth. Well, I ran a youth camp every year for the past 3 years, and just to have Tylee Craft come back, or Jordan Gregg, or Marcus Lane, or Eric Watts, or Miles Capers, and Zaire Gamble, and Nate Butler, and Abraham Timoni, all these names come back and actually give back to the kids. Like, I think that's huge. Yeah. And that's something that I plan to bring back here.
And Wilson is all about community. So
ain't no doubt.
I love the fact that you want to still incorporate that, because sometimes people don't incorporate that or realize how important it is to incorporate that. And now, as another part of being a coach is sometimes you have to lead these athletes on to the next level in the game. And we see now that with the transfer portal and NIL deals, and even now that there's the new rule that JUCO will no longer count against you. Those 2 years, so you can go on to D1, D2, whatever, and still have 4 years. So as a high school coach, what are you preaching to the athletes who are juniors and seniors who have a real shot of playing football at the next level?
Let me say, every kid has a shot at playing at the next level. You got Division I, Division AA, Division II, Division III. You have all these different levels, so there's a place for everybody if they want to play, first of all. But what do I do on my end? I think education. Yeah. You got to educate people. Like you said, you name all those different things that change. Yes. I can speak for myself. The landscape of college football has changed so much.
I mean,
so much.
It's I'm not gonna say it's ridiculous, but like the whole situation has just completely changed. And the reason why I asked you this question is because when I went to HBCU, I've seen great HBCU players go to the next level and make an impact. Kobe Durant for the Rams. That was he's one of my good friends that I met at NC State. But I asked that because when I was in school, the coaches never preached HBCUs or small, or if they did preach small Division Ones, they preached the Newberries and the Limestones, but never HBCUs. And I just wanted to see what your opinion and thoughts was in regards to that.
If you can play, they're gonna find you. I think when you look at it, there's less Division I guys in the NFL than any level there is. You look at most Hall of Famers are HBCU guys. And to piggyback back off the recruiting aspect, I give you a story. I remember about anybody watch South Carolina seen O'Donnell Fortune. I remember when O'Donnell got the offer from South Carolina going into his senior year. That's unheard of, really. Most guys, most Power 5 guys have their offer their junior, sophomore year. And a guy from South Carolina doing a recruiting, like, where do some of the guys keep coming from? I said, we tell people every year when they come in, we have this kid, that kid, that kid that's coming. But no one ever listens until it's too late.
Yeah.
I have a bunch of coaching buddies. I remember when O'Donnell was a sophomore, and I called him and said, hey, you might want to offer this kid right now. All right, okay. And then comes his junior, senior year, he's getting all these offers. Then you calling me, asking me, hey, you think you can help me out? No, I can't. I gave you first dibs. And I go another kid, Abraham Timoni.
Mm-hmm.
Abraham Timoni, nobody will pull the trigger on him. He's 6'4", 160-pound kid. He played receiver all 3 years. His senior year, he decided, I tried to get him to come play corner.
Uh-huh.
He didn't want to. His senior year, he decided to come over. He ended up with the opportunity to go to Erskine. So he played at Erskine for a couple of years, was a pretty good player. Hit the transfer portal. Had anybody from Indiana to Illinois, all these different offers. They ended up at Coastal Carolina as another guy. So O'Donnell's got invited to the draft. Abraham's getting prepared for pro day. So it's two guys that I told people about. Nobody listened. And it's another one, Cameron Pearson. Uh-huh. He's a corner at Texas State now. He had to go prep school because nobody would pull the trigger. He went to prep school, then he went to JUCO, and then he ended up at Texas State. Like when I call guys and tell them about guys, I'm not telling you just because he's my guy. I'm telling you because I believe that he can play at that level.
And like I said, with the NIL, how do you feel about NIL?
How do I feel about it? As a former college football player, I played at a small Division I school, the smallest one ever. I like it and I love it.
Yeah,
I like it in the aspect that I do feel like kids should be compensated for what they go through. Because I'm a guy who was hurt a lot. And trust me, my body feels it every day. And I didn't get paid a penny. But it was fun. However, I think it's hurting the game. I didn't watch the NFL. Why I didn't watch the NFL? I felt like they didn't play hard. Yeah. I think it's starting to trickle down to college. When you got kids who transfer because they didn't get paid enough, or you got guys who decide to sit out bowl games. Like I don't have time to watch football during the season. Mm-hmm. So most times I get to watch is bowl games. So if I watch the bowl game, I want to watch the best players play. Right. I don't want to see you opt out.
Right.
But that's the game that we're in now. So I like it, but I love it. I understand it. Mm-hmm. I want these guys to take full advantage of every opportunity they get. However, I do want to protect the integrity of the game.
Right. And I definitely agree with you because now we just saw what happened with Michigan and how you give an 18-year-old $10.2 million and you've never seen him play a down in college.
It's a different game.
And all that money is guaranteed.
It's
so you got to pay him. And I think that's a tad bit ridiculous.
Right.
But that's why I think that there should be a committee. Mm-hmm. There should be. And also you have a lot of these kids who are uneducated when it comes to these contracts. And they don't even know how to read these contracts. And that's also because I'm in the classroom with high schoolers daily. Right. These kids don't know what they're signing on.
Ain't no doubt.
And some parents don't understand
and I think
what their kids are signing on that dotted line.
And they're the biggest
so I think there needs to be some education.
Correct.
There needs to be some stipulations involved because, like you said, kids are not ruining the integrity of the game, but they're dropping the integrity of the game. And I prefer college football over NFL. Yes. The NFL only gets serious during the playoffs.
Correct.
The regular season, it feels same way I feel about NBA.
Right.
So I 100% agree with you on that, and we're on the same page about that, Coach.
I'm a fan of Sean Taylor. That's the football I want to see. I'm an old school Miami Hurricane fan. I want to see that kind of football.
I want to see that type of defense.
Yes.
When I fell in love with football, I fell in love with football because my brother played football and I had to go to the game. Okay. So, but I didn't realize what was going on in the game. My brother's 7 years older than me. Right. So I didn't realize what was going on. And then in case you guys don't know, I like to talk. And so everyone will be talking about the game and I know what was going on.
I got you.
So I made it my job to study the game and learn the game. And then from there, my brother was a inside linebacker. Okay. And so I learned the game from him. And I don't know if you remember Sean Carson.
Sure.
So Sean Carson was the running back. So I learned offense based off of what they ran the ball. They just gonna run the ball down your neck. Right. And then Lake City had a really solid defense at the time. And so that's how I learned the game. And then I became, you remember the Titans, the girl? I became that little girl.
Ain't no doubt.
And and so because I was used to that type of defense that was smash mouth, very much a 3-4 or a 4-3 setup, I fell in love with Nick Saban. And how he coached their defense. And he was a DB.
He's a DB guy.
I'm saying the DBs turning into head coaches. That formula just seems to work.
Kirby Smart.
You know, I'm just saying that formula seems to work. So that just makes my hopes for you even higher. You know, but I like that type of defense. Defense where the offense is a little scared. Like they know they're going to get hit.
And every play,
the pass need to be talking. If the pass not talking, you're not playing defense. You actually playing 7-on-7.
Yeah, and that's what it's going to.
I feel like that's what it's going to. I feel like that's what it's going to. Or even that 08 Steelers defense.
Oh yeah,
man. And I don't think people talk about Ryan Clark enough.
I know, smart, cerebral, smart guy.
Because I mean that defense was just stacked with. But no one wanted to catch that ball.
No,
and have to go through Ryan Clark.
No, but that football like that is a lost art at times. It's a lost art.
And I hope you can bring that back to Wilson.
That's the plan. That's the plan.
And you know what? I don't hope. I know you're gonna bring that.
I appreciate it.
I know you're gonna bring that, and I just want to say thank you for wanting to come to Wilson and change the culture.
Ain't no doubt.
And you know, and talking with you, you have the values that I would want any Wilson coach to have. And as an alum, I love to talk the game with you. Like we have great conversations about football, and I enjoy it thoroughly. And I'm gonna just tell you one thing: if you win homecoming, sir,
yes, ma'am.
We haven't won homecoming in about 6 years.
Yeah.
If you win homecoming. Listen.
That's the best advice you give me?
Well, you don't need my advice on anything else.
Yes, I do.
You don't. No, you don't, coach. No, you don't, coach.
Listen. I love learning. Walking through Florence, you see Wilson alum all the time. The first thing they say, hey, you better win. Okay, what's your advice for me? Go ahead and tell me what you think I should do. Because I'm here.
No, just my advice for you is just coach how you coach. Right. Build a culture. Don't let anybody come to you that's not your coach or your AD and tell you how they think you should run your program. This is your program. When the AD chose you, he saw something. Stick to that. Like, don't let people try to come in and change your mindset of how you think your team should run.
Ain't no doubt.
And how you set accountability. Keep that up, because I think on our side of town, accountability is the one thing
these kids need.
Yeah. And then sometimes their parents do enable it. So just stick steadfast. With my mom's the AD at Williams. Right. So I understand the parents call or the parents telling you, oh, I'm going to talk to the superintendent. Right. Okay, and you know the rules.
Doesn't bother me.
As long as you stick within the rules, nobody can take your job from you.
Ain't no doubt. I tell people all the time, like, when you're changing a culture or you changing anything, people are going to buck because they're not used to it, which is a good thing here football-wise, because it hasn't been successful in a while. So the fact that people want to buck and say that, I know I'm going in the right direction. So I'll be all right. I think people need to realize that it's some water under the bridge with me.
And even though people are saying win, 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 if we're a one-win team last year, right. If you win 2 games, we've gotten better.
That's progress.
So don't worry about that. Some alumni are going to, some alumni are going to be obnoxious. Right. That's just what comes with the territory.
Ain't no doubt.
But a lot of us are also level-headed and understand what goes into coaching and what goes into building a culture. So, like I said, my advice to you, be Coach Wilson.
Ain't no doubt. You know, one thing the reason I enjoy and happy I took the job and wanted to take the job was the pressure. The pressure of the alumni. Like to be able to walk through the mall or go get something to eat and hear, hey, y'all better win. Like, I want the pressure. Anybody tell you playing on the island as a corner, like you want the ball. You want the opportunity. And that's all it is. Like, I want the pressure on me. It's okay. Like, I'm going to embrace it. I'm ready. Like, we're ready for the moment.
I just want to say thank you so much for coming on the Ali Perspective.
I gotta come back. This is fun.
No, I want you to come back. We're gonna have to have a talk again right before the season.
Okay.
So we can see how your summer went.
No doubt.
And then we can do a mid-season one too.
Okay.
You know, kind of talk about how you think things are going. And then we can just talk about football in general. We ain't even got to talk about
We can talk about other sports too.
We can talk about, okay.
I'm a guy who wrestled in high school. I ran track.
Right.
I played baseball when I was younger, you know.
I got you.
I like it all.
We can just come on here and just talk sports. That ain't none of my problem.
I know.
That's what I do.
I know.
But yes, once again, thank you so much for coming on the show, and I cannot wait to have you back.
Thanks for having me.
And guys, please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And once again, follow me at Kayla McClam on Twitter and on Instagram. Okay? Well, I'm sorry. On Instagram, it's Kayla_Ali18. All right? But this is the Ali Perspective, and I'm Kayla Ali. See you next week.